The Splatoon 2 North American Online Open, June 2020. We just got done getting a chance to check out the North American Online Open, May 2020 for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. This is the second half of our doubleheader, and welcome in. I'm your spray-by-spray host, Jordan Kent, and joining me, two of the finest Splatalists. Let's start with our first one. People call her the third Squid sister. It's Ashley Esqueda. Ashley, how you doing?
I'm great. Yeah, things are good. Things are good. Just writing new songs for those albums. I'm the unspoken Squid sister that no one talks about, but I write all the songs. It's very important work.
And he goes by 9, but he's a 10 in my book. 9, you excited for the action that we have here today?
I see you're just setting me up so that you can break me down later. Yes, Jordan, I am very excited. Like you said, some of the biggest turnout we've had, down to just 4 teams, and I know that they're going to put on a great show for us today.
Well, as you mentioned, these are the top 4 teams here, 9, out of 725 entries. And if you look at the past tournaments that we've had before, one of the largest accumulations of teams that signed up. And so these truly are 4 of the best teams here, and they'll be fighting for a lot today, splatting for a lot today. The winning team, each member will get a digital download for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, ARMS, and of course, Mario Tennis Aces. But there's more to it than just that, Ashley.
Oh yeah, of course. They'll also earn my undying respect.
Let's go ahead and take a look at this bracket and check out the teams that we are watching take action today as we get set for the Splatoon 2 North American Online Open June 2020. 3.5 Ws, Booyah, FT Win, and Hanren. And what can you say about some of these teams here, 9?
Well, take a look there at the bottom, and you can see FT Win. You cannot talk about the history of North American Championship Splatoon and not talk about FT Win because, well, quite frankly, they've won everything. Since their induction, they have won every major tournament that they have entered, that Nintendo has hosted here, up against Hanron, which is a very old school team, right? They come from Splatoon 1. They got back together for this event. They're a very aggressive team, and I know that people are going to love to watch them go at it with some of the best that we have in the world.
Let's chat about some of the rules here. It will be single elimination. Best of 5 games wins a match. All of these games will be ranked mode, but don't forget the grand finals will be best of 7. In the semifinals, you'll see game 1, Rainmaker, game 2, Tower Control, game 3, Splat Zones, and if game 4 and 5 are necessary, more Tower Control and Rainmaker. You see the maps as well, too. We'll break those down as we land on those maps. But Ashley, when you look at ranked modes, it seems like communication is something that always seems to stand out when we look at these high-level teams.
Always, always. Communication is key. And these teams, especially in modes like Rainmaker and Tower Control, they're going to have to talk to each other to make sure that the flanks are protected. They're going to have to talk to each other to make sure they know exactly what the plan of action is, because things can change in a second in any given game.
And 9, we've been playing a lot of ranked mode, and you, let's be honest, have been carrying me around in the baby pouch as we continue to get some victories here. But coordination is something that is so important at this level, and the coordination happens in many facets of the game.
It really does. And the great saying that we love to go by is good players win their 1v1s, great players win their 2v1s, because you really shouldn't be going out and attacking somebody by yourself. There are so many ways to work up and to move up together, and we are going to see a lot of ink armor in today's matches. If you get in a 1v1 with ink armor, that's no good. You've got to wait until someone there's with you.
And Ashley, when you look down at the core components of this game, yes, getting those splats is important, but you can also help out your team just with territory control. Just ink the ground and give your team the option to cover a lot of the map. That is still one of the foundational strategies of Splatoon 2.
Yeah, always. It's if your ink is on the ground, you're slowing down your opponents. You're exposing your opponents, making it easier to win those 1v1s, those 2v1s like 9 was talking about. I mean, that is a real key to victory in every single mode. It doesn't matter which one you're playing.
And 9, we've talked about how this meta has evolved similar to a cephalopod growing some legs here throughout the years. You now look at where it stands right now. What are you seeing from high-level players and high-level teams?
Well, like I mentioned, you're going to see ink armor, and you are going to see lots of it. Many of these teams here are very confident in their ability to be mechanically sound, to go up, hit the shots they need to, and move around. Ink armor really, really contributes to that. On top of that, though, I've heard that some of these teams have something a little interesting cooked up. So honestly, I'm not as sure as I probably should be.
And Ashley, we were chatting with Nine about coordination and those specials. You'll see them pop up and start to flash at the top of the screen throughout the match here. You have to be coordinated in when you use those specials because we're going to hear the term making a push quite a bit. And that's when you really try to stack those specials.
Yeah, I mean, the difference between, you know, one special and three back to back to back, maybe an ink armor, and you've got all these ink storm, you've got all these different things that can again slow down your opponents, really make it easy to clear out the other team and just go go go. A lot of these ranked modes have goals, and so you have to get to a specific place. So this is definitely we're going to see a lot of really good special coordination today.
And Nine, the loadouts are so important, and you'll be calling these out as we start each game here. Teams have a balanced attack, and sometimes they might have a little bit of an emphasis in one particular area, but they have thoughtfully designed some of these loadouts here. And we're going to get set for Rainmaker on Manta Maria, and this will be a big-time matchup here as we take a look at these two teams. We've got Booyah, of course, facing off against DJ, Zero, Rhea, and Ice of 3.5 Ws. And early on, Nine, what are you making of these loadouts here?
Well, you take a look here. We've got two Chargers, and actually Bean and Ice here on opposing sides are the only two true backliners that are in this event today. We talk so much about backline being the stabilizing force, but Bean on the Bamboozler is going to be just a little bit more mobile, and it's going to allow them to control more space.
Let's check out Impact right now. Just going ahead and covering a little bit of turf with that inking. You see the ability of that baller when that special gets rolling here. Impact trying to throw some of those torpedoes, and here comes the baller ready to go. And right now, neither team here, Ashley, taking main advantage. That Rainmaker still sitting there. Teams hesitant to claim that until you get a bit of an advantage on the map.
Yeah, I think you want to make sure. So you can see there's two splats right here, and then you're always going to jump back. You don't want to get splatted. You want to make sure you have that team together for that coordinated effort. So if you lose a couple of teammates, you're going to head back to base, but oof, ouch. It does look like Zero is doing a great job. Look at that. A team wipe.
And Nine, that was very quick, and you see what happens when you get up 3-1 in Rainmaker.
I blinked and it ended there. That was fantastic. We were talking so much about being patient and waiting for your opportunity to push, waiting until two go down, taking it on that far right side, and then staggering the attack right there. Look at that. Only one pick there on the bottom. That means only one person got splatted there for 3.5 dubs. That's about as clean as you can get at this level.
Yeah, and Ashley, it still helps to stay alive and stay on the map here at this point, because when you do that, you're covering more territory. But we saw that back and forth for a little bit, and 3.5s really just waiting for that opportunity to have the advantage on the map. And when they did, it really didn't take much work. We were watching that point of view from Impact, and when your last backline person eats a splat bomb like that, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, it's a big ouch, and that's the ouch span, right? And that's you always got to be ready for that. And yeah, there's a moment where you're kind of both feeling each other out, right? So there's that moment where you feel each other out, you kind of see what the other team's about, see what the loadouts are, and then you got to react. And the thing is who blinks first, right? So in this case, it wasn't quite their day.
And that can happen in Rainmaker so quickly, Nine, is one team just gets the advantage. And if you have already lost the ability to control the map, you can see how quickly you can go for that dunk right there. If you're looking at Booyah, what adjustments do you need to think about outside of, well, probably helps if we get more than one splat next game?
It does, but I think that, like you said, that's part of the nature of the beast with Rainmaker, right? One mistake can really punish you hard, and you saw that on that first push, they dropped it down into what we call the pit area on Manta Maria. At that point, you flip a coin, right? If someone goes down to a bomb like there, the game is basically over, but they're going to be moving into some more measured maps and modes now, and I think they're going to have a great opportunity to counterattack.
Yeah, and Ashley, it seems like in every single map, there is sort of that sweet spot that if you can get the objective to that area, you're really going to take control. And whether that push comes at the beginning or at the end, you have to make sure that you do not concede that important part of the map.
Yeah, there's always that sort of battle point right before you kind of get to the end. And if you can control that point, and we saw that, obviously 3.5 Ws, like just really going out there and pushing fast. But yeah, it's you gotta take those pain points and you gotta win them.
Well, let's get to game 2, and let's see if this one will be a tad bit longer here. 3.5 W's, claiming that first one very quickly. Booyah trying to bounce back, and already we're at Inkblot, Art Academy, and Splat Zones here. 2 zones, 9. You got to keep that in mind.
Well, actually, if I'm seeing it right, I think it's tower control here. And Jordan, to that point, I think we've seen a few good matches here on this specific map and mode in World Championship format. I'm trying to remember STDX versus Backsquids, I believe.
And you're absolutely right. The tower control here, we've seen those Splat Zones before that we've enjoyed in the past, but the tower control, as we mentioned, already in control. Booyah hopping on it first right now, and speaking of which, here comes that Booyah bomb, and it's so important here, Ashley, to get to these checkpoints and to hold things down.
Yeah, and the one thing about Splatoon 2 is you have to hold these checkpoints for 10 seconds. You have to actually stay still, which is very difficult in Splatoon. You want to always be moving in Splatoon. It's that one time where you have to kind of keep the tower still, but, survive. So it can be a really tough thing to hold those checkpoints, but it looks like they're doing a really good job of it.
So far, Booyah with the early advantage, but Impact once again getting splatted, and now it's a 4-2 advantage on the map with the special ready to go here, 9.
It is an ice right there on the Chargers, what really saved them. You saw what looked like a pretty good opening push. They had solid control of that left elbow area, but one shot from the Charger can completely change it. Now Zero is pushed up here using one of his tried and true weapons here, the Kenta Splattershot Pro. He's pushing in as fast as he can. They sense blood in the water.
And you see already Zero getting a critical splat, and they continue to have the squid advantage on the map, now pushing towards checkpoint number 2. And Ashley, this is when you want to continue to push forward and keep Booyah back at their spawn point so that you can apply the consistent pressure.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a really great job of keeping Booyah away from those flank points. You can see right here, Ice absolutely crushing it with the sting, and they are now past checkpoint 3. So this is the last leg. That's all they have to do. But it's back and forth.
And 9, it's really hard to close things out in tower control Inkblot Art Academy right here because that spawn is so close to the goal, and it's not over yet, but you're facing a difficult hill to climb if you're trying to recover. If you are Booyah, how do you try to turn the momentum in this match if you are Booyah? You're trying to get that yellow ink on the map.
Well, it all starts with making sure that you have mid control, and you can say a lot about mid control and also say a little about it, but what it boils down to is as long as you have some semblance of footing to start your push, to build your specials, that's what it all starts with. And you can see now, already 2 down. I believe Ice got at least one of them. They're not going to get any control, and it's actually a push coming the other way.
And Ice doing such a good job of being that backliner, holding things down, lock the doors, and set the security system to make sure that you've got some protection here. And here comes that reverse push, as we mentioned, by 3.5 W's. When you're able to get back on the tower here, Ashley, you no longer have to navigate those checkpoints. You got that fast pass, as we like to say, to push the tower back.
Yeah, you definitely, that comes in very handy if the tower has rolled back a little bit. I mean, I think that's a thing that you always have to keep in mind, like, okay, hey, we've already gotten past this one, so we just go, go, go. And sometimes those coordinated special pushes can really make the difference on that last, let's say, that last leg.
We see right here, Ice still holding things down on the tower. And 9, when you're trying to secure the tower and have your teammates push forward, what do your teammates need to keep in mind when you're essentially kind of down a player because they have to be on the tower?
At that point, you really just want to make sure that you're positioned properly. As long as you have somebody on the tower, you know that the opponent is going to have to come to you. So try to set yourselves up to where you think they're going to come from and use that as your advantage. Use the fact that the opponents have to come to you.
And we see RR Mo right now trying to hold things down. Throws a suction bomb, trying to negate anybody approaching right now. Booyah on their heels, as we mentioned before. That tower continues to come, and they cannot just swing the tide of momentum. DJ trying to fight back. Zero now moving along on the baseline here, trying to get up to the second level. Zero trying to sneak and flank. Has an opportunity to get behind Booyah, and does. And that's enough right there. That 1v1 trade, 9, creates the advantage for 3.5 dubs.
Yeah, I believe that was 3 down right there. Now poor Impact has to come all the way back here. And you saw 3 people just rush, taking that out, making sure that they have solid control of this area. Right here, Rhea, aka Tic Tac, is just going to sit by tower and try to hold this spot. He knows that as long as he is standing right here, no one's getting on that tower.
And Ashley, Ink Armor coming out, and this is when highly skilled teams can really use that to their advantage to get that squid advantage on the map, as we mentioned before, but nicely done by Booyah here, Ashley, to sort of take that ink armor approach. And now, well, as soon as I say that, they go down 4-1.
Yeah, that's tough. Ouch. The Stingray, I mean, it's so difficult when you have ink armor, Stingray, and there it is.
And already 3.5 dubs, getting a second victory here, and now really putting the pressure on Booyah at this point. And really just that initial push here, 9, when they got the tower to get it down to 12. Once you put it there, you really force the other team to play a much more offensive-minded game. You can sort of shift the focus to defense, and it's hard to turn that momentum when teams have already put that kind of pressure on you.
It really is. Playing with a lead changes everything. That strategy you saw there with Rhea just sitting by the tower, throwing a bomb on the tower, making sure that around the tower was inked, that's a strategy that you have. It is a privilege of having the lead because, again, as we've said, the opponent has to come to the tower and they have to go through you to get there.
So already 3.5 dubs, up 2-0 on the games. Up next, we will have, of course, our Splat Zones on Starfish main stage. We finally get to those Splat Zones I'm excited for here, 9. But Ashley, as we shift the focus to Splat Zones, it changes the strategy here a little bit because we've talked about how important it is to get that first initial control of the zone in Splat Zones.
Yeah, so 9 was just saying with tower control, when you're in the lead, when you have the tower, your opponents have to come to you. And in Splat Zones, it is an entirely different scenario where you have these fixed locations. Your opponents and you are going to the same place. There's constant 1v1s, 2v1s. There's just these really great battles that we see in Splat Zones.
And going back to those Splat Zones here, 9, we've talked about it where, yes, you want to be able to claim it. But then once you have the zone, what is the team's focus at that point to make sure that you can hang on to it?
You never want to let the opponent build up their specials because anybody can build up 4 specials on their team, throw them all at the zone, flip the zone, and stop your timer. So what you're really going to see here is that these players are going to be moving up and putting the pressure on their opponent, even in what is considered a more stationary mode.
Splat Zones and Starfish main stage. And Ashley, we see one zone and it's on the main stage, and that is clearly where you want to control things. But then you do have to push beyond that once you control it. You can't just get the zone, kick back, relax, and have a sip of lemonade and expect to get this victory here.
I mean, I wish it was that easy. That would be really nice, right? But you can see already we're seeing, these teams are able to build specials so quickly. And in that last tower control game, you've got 3.5 W's able to build up those ink armors so incredibly quick. But look at Booyah taking that Splat Zone first.
Booyah on the yellow, 3.5 W's in the purple or blue, however you want to see it. And now it's Booyah taking the early advantage here, 9. And now what do they have to do against 3.5 W's and make sure they can try and steal a game here?
Well, we've set it up to where, again, they do have to push forward, but I think that Bean, who we're on right here, this is going to be a moment for her to really show her stuff and gets taken down by some Tenta missiles. You saw right there, she had her bomb rush out, and the charger also was going to be the weapon that could force people back. But again, we see it so often. One rogue bomb can completely change the dynamic of a push.
Yep, and a slow-moving ink storm helped 3.5 W's claim the zone, but now the Booyah has it, and they've got a little bit of a penalty to deal with here, Ashley. And here comes the ink arm, and you mentioned before, Ashley, you just have to stack those specials. It's so critical, especially in Splat Zones, to regain that momentum.
Yeah, communication is key here because you all want to make sure you're coordinating in a way that is not wasting a special, right? So if you've got a couple of ink armors, you don't want to use them at the same time. You might say, okay, let's use one, let's use 2 back to back. Or you might say, let's just save one, let's hold on to it. You can see Ice back there, just waiting, just holding on to that special.
We saw DJ land into the action, ready to play another track here. And now 3.5 W's has taken control here, 9. And we saw that their ability to get the squid advantage on the map. But here comes that onslaught of specials, as we've talked about before.
And they've held through it all here. The baller's going to be the last one, and it will be just enough. But I want to note again, that took all of their specials to get the zone. They're going to need to take a couple people out here as well, because look at that. They went 3 down with all those specials. They're going to lose the zone very quickly here. And again, it just doesn't seem like they're able to find their footing so far in this set.
Booyah, even with a loaded resume, can't get the job done. So now it is all 3.5 W's looking to close things out here, trying to eat away at that penalty. Let's see if they can push forward now. Booyah They're down to just one special, 3.5 Ws, all 4 players on the map ready to go. Tenta missiles being unleashed, but if you're seeing it now, Ashley, Booyah's getting pushed back. They can't approach the zone safely quite yet as that timer continues to tick.
That timer is ticking down. It's getting very dangerous in there. Here comes the ball. Let's see if they can take it back. Okay, so took it back, but unfortunately, Impact was a victim of the take back.
And sometimes, Nine, that's all you need to do is just to stop the hurting right there, create that penalty, and buy yourself some precious seconds to see if you can regain and build up some special. And it seems like Booyah starting to stabilize a little bit here.
Stabilize is exactly it. And you saw how quickly they went and pursued Rhea there. So often, Rhea has been sitting behind the zone and continuing to just put some ink on it there, at least keep it neutralized and allow the rest of the team to come back. But that penalty is gone now, and that's going to tick away very quickly if they can continue to hold.
And now Booyah has a chance to get a comeback just 20 seconds away, but 3.5 Ws. They've got some specials ready to roll. They go ahead and seize momentum, and they regain it of the zone. And now, Ashley, if you are Booyah, you can't keep getting pushed back because the overall timer is now your enemy.
Yeah, and also they just used 2 specials. So this is really where it counts, right? So we've got very short amount of time left. RR gets Splat on 0. That's great. So let's see if they can actually convert a couple of specials. You can see there's a couple of them coming up here that they might be able to convert and get that point and add some more time.
But Nine, there's a lot of purple in mid right now, and things are not looking good for Booyah's 3.5 Dubs. Just 11 seconds away from advancing to grand finals, but Booyah still trying to hold on and force some overtime. They've got a baller and a 4-2 advantage on the map right now, Nine.
Credit their resiliency, but they've also got Zero back behind them there. They have to deal with that, and Zero jumps out. All that time spent looking back there might mean that some of the other members got to move up without a whole lot of opposition. This is going to be big. There's really only one more opportunity they have to convert this.
And 3.5 Ws trying to consolidate these specials, make one more final push. All they have to do is regain control of the zone. But 10 seconds away for Booyah. Ashley, they just have to hold on. Is that going to be enough? And Booyah just 1 second away, Ashley. And that's how close it is. But now you've got to deal with a 40-second penalty here, Ashley. And that's a lot to deal with if you're
Both
Booyah.
of them have this 41-second penalty. I mean, it is really, man, the back and forth there, yikes.
And 9, you see how close it can get in Splat Zones. 1 second away for Booyah from taking this game. But 3.5 Ws, they do enough at the end, and they advance on a 3-0 sweep to grand finals.
Fantastic play there at the end, and really credit Booyah for finding their footing in that last game. And Ashley, you said something at the top of the show that I want to highlight. You talked about watching your flanks. Right there at the very end, DJ on that tri-slosher came around the left flank, and that really was the last-ditch effort right there, attacking from that side. If it doesn't work, we lose, but it's our only chance. It did work, and at the end, you saw Zero come around from the other flank, and that's what it looks like when teams are coordinated in all facets of the map.
Yeah, it's just so fun to watch teams like this play.
Yeah, so 3.5 Ws getting the 3-0 sweep. Let's see if we have that updated bracket right now to show you who will advance to grand finals, because up next we're going to have FT win against Hanrin. And you look at both of these teams here, 9, and one has been very dominant and one has been old school, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I think a lot of people look at Hanron and they remember what they were capable of back in Splatoon 1. This is a run-and-gun style team. They might not even bring a charger or a splatling or anything. They are confident in their ability to outplay you on a mechanical side. And yeah, aggressive is the name of the word with this team.
And with aggressive teams, Ashley, it's sort of live and not live by it, because you have a chance to really cover a ton of territory and put that pressure on the opposing team because you have so much ink on the map. But you can also get zoned out if you choose to not go with the charger. And so that loadout decision seems like it'll be critical for Hanron if they really want to try and pull the upset against FT Win.
I'm really curious what FT Win rolls out with against Hanron here, because like you said, if it is a risk, it is high. Running the way Hanron does is high risk, high reward. They can win very quickly with their loadout. But if they get locked out, or if they're not able to control a zone from far away, if they don't have range, it can become really problematic for them very, very fast.
In 9, we've talked about this shifting meta and how at one point it was very, very aggressive, and you want to make sure they use a lot of those shooters and cover a ton of territory. And other times it has shifted. And so you look at an aggressive play style if you're Hanran. If you're going to play that way, what do you have to do well to be effective against a team that's going to have a balanced loadout with that charger, with that flex player, and so on and so forth?
You've got to be sharp, right? Every rotation that you make, when your teammate says, I've got one near me, you have to get there now. Your weapons are made to do that. That means that the player has to utilize the tool that they have. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, you have to be mechanically sound. If there are shots to be hit, you got to hit them.
All right, we're going to take a quick little break, but when we come back, we'll go ahead and bring you FT Win versus Hanran as we continue on the Splatoon 2 North American Online Open, June 2020.